When it comes to charging structures, umbrella funds have got different charging structures. Some of them seem simple because they bundle all the fees up into one and you have one fee that you pay for everything, but it's not necessarily practical if you align what you're paying for. So you've got to make sure you get that balance correct. I think the first step of actually working it out is to make sure you have your own membership information. So you know for your portfolio, for your employees, what is the salary, what are the numbers, what is your total fund values that we are working with. Because with that as a basis, you can then calculate what is the fee, is a rand per member per month fee, what is the fee as a percentage of salary. So you can actually work out what the absolute number of the cost is and then add it all together and then compare across different umbrella funds. And that'll give you a better feel for, first of all, how it's going to cost for each member, but also what holistically is going to be the most cost-effective solution across the board. The ASISA guidelines that have been released actually go live 1 March next year. And essentially the reason is trying to create some even structure to compare fees. So what the guidelines state is that all fees that are going to be charged by an umbrella fund need to be calculated in a comparable way. So they don't have to be charged in a comparable way, but they have to be calculated as part of the quoting process so that you can compare apples with apples. So essentially what it says is project these costs forward for 10 years and what you'd expect on that membership for that particular employer, work out what the actual cost would be and then convert it back to a percentage of assets so that you can have a feel, so that if you're looking at 2 sets of umbrella funds, you can compare the costs of those 2 umbrella funds evenly. So they might charge differently on a charging structure, but at least when you go to the actual numbers, what does it look like? So what is the benefit of that? What it means is that each umbrella fund that's a commercial umbrella fund is going to be required from March next year as part of their quote to quote on that basis to actually provide that comparison and do the projections. So it means that employers are now going to get these quotes and get 2 different or 3 different umbrella fund quotes and be able to compare them and see like for like in terms of what the costs look like. So it's going to make the lives of the employer a lot easier, or their jobs a lot easier. It's going to have very little impact on the end member though, because it doesn't look at how the cost is charged, it just works it out for a group. So if I'm an employer of 500 people, it's going to say for that 500 groups, with that average salary, with that numbers, with that amount of fund value, that's what it's probably going to cost you. And it breaks the costs amongst the advice fee, it looks at administration, asset management charge, and then other. So it does group it into the 4 different levels so you can compare across the difference. But for a member, that's not actually what they're going to pay, because what they'll pay is dependent on their individual circumstances. So let's say the cost is a percentage of salary charge, but the comparisons looked at it as a percentage of assets. That member's not going to pay that percentage of assets. They're going to pay a fee based on what their salary is in terms of the percentage of salary charge.